Within the applied AI space and AI generally, we've heard a lot of Google launches. I think there was a
Mhm.
hilarious meme of Sundar. How many times you said AI in the latest Google I/O? Because you guys
Oh
are
yeah, that's a
shipping
good one.
it
Yep.
across so many areas. And I think another famous post that recently went viral was a UX designer who had actually quit Google. And one of the reasons he mentioned was that Google was kind of rushing in and plugging AI into
Hmm.
everything. So I'm curious, what is it like on the inside being a part of Google's rush to AI?
I think maybe I'll come into the first part and then the second part, which is I think not just Google as an industry. I think where I've often joked where it feels like sometimes we're in this stage where everyone is like, okay, here's how can I sprinkle an LLM on the product that I already have. And I think this is across products, across companies. And I think this is a combination of reasons, right? Like people feel pressure from their boards, everyone hears about this. Um, but also there's like genuine excitement, right? Like on some level, we have this thing that is intelligence. We have people that are trying to do something. How can we use this intelligence to make their life better? And I think what you're seeing at many places is the first stage of like, we have this incredibly powerful technology. How can it be used to make our user flows better? And I think that's the stage we're at now. And in some cases, I think in the excitement, people sort of make suboptimal decisions. And I can imagine, I don't know about the specifics, so this person was very upset, but I can imagine like in that flow, people sort of the all of that can be sort of disorienting for some people, right? Um, but I think at least for me, like it is that sense of excitement, and I do think in a case of a lot of these cases, you get the second round where you actually get sort of the product that connects everything. I've seen occasionally teams go like, wait, what you're doing looks very similar to this. This should be like a joint initiative, or these two should connect better. But I think that's hard, especially early on, especially when you're trying to get something out quickly. And so sometimes you just have to be more patient and sort of fix that in a second launch or a combined initiative. And I think that's the way sort of a lot of these things get fixed. And I think once you've been around as long as I have, you kind of you realize that hey, you sort of need to maybe sort of be a little more patient and come back with some of these initiatives. You don't get it right the first time. And I think that's my sense, honestly, across the industry, right? Which is, right now we're still in the phase where we're trying to use this really powerful technology to make our existing products better. And sometimes it's not applied as usefully to people or as thoughtfully as it should be.
And within Google, how has the AI directive come down? How have you experienced it on the ground? I think you recently moved into an AI team. Has
Yep.
that been kind of like the high level company strategy and then people have been getting reallocated into these AI investment areas? How has it felt inside Google?
I think there's definitely excitement around the space. So in my personal case, right, I just I often tell people like I was sort of AI adjacent for most of my career. So I would say, the largest time of my career on Google search. I worked on answers, I worked on the knowledge graph, I worked on all sorts of things that are around the space. And you would often, sort of use the technology, but it was not quite there yet, or it worked for a small subset of use cases so that you couldn't scale it. And I think once you sort of saw what was possible, like the night, I'd say the night ChatGPT came out was the most animated email I've ever written to former colleagues. Um, I think there's a sense of incredible excitement, right? Of like, okay, wait, like all that stuff is possible now. And so for me, it was I knew the thing that I was excited about, I would need to move teams, and I ended up moving to this team. I do think across the company there is this sense, sort of. Sundar, our CEO, is sort of say like we've been an AI company for a long time, and this feels like an inflection point was reached a couple of years ago. And I think we feel this energy and urgency to like do something about it. And I think that is cascaded down in terms of like where people spend their time, what people are allocated to, all of that. I think, like, to be clear, there's large parts of the company that still do, sort of other things, but I do think there's increasingly urgency and excitement around AI across the company, really.
And as a director, what do the conversations and thinking look like? Are you guys strategizing like we need to think about having more of our overall search product scope shifted into AI initiatives or our overall cloud scope shifted into it?
Yeah.
How are those decisions made?
Um, So I think as I think most of Google, sort of as you sort of get to middle and senior management, you're sort of player coach, and so the coach side is definitely making sure everyone feels prepared in their particular bucket. Like, are people getting the right training? Do people understand what needs to happen? Do people sort of have people internalize how to think about it for their area? I think on the strategy itself, absolutely. I think both developing a view on how this will affect the people that you care about, and I think I'm in a more unique position now because I'm in an applied AI team that's doing nothing but that. But even when I talk to other colleagues that are more focused on products, it's very much the sense of, okay, how should we invest now in this technology that will best serve our user needs? And so it's very much allocation for resources, how you plan, all of that gets affected.